Inside the Cage, brought to you by Combat Sports Insurance.
Welcome to MMA Inside the Cage. This week, we have a preview of the big XFC 20 high-octane card. We're going to have 5 keys for success for the World Series of Fighting and 12 new finals for Clip of the Week. I'm your host, Cyrus Fees. Next to me, they're calling him the J.R. Ewing in mixed martial arts, Casey Oxenberg.
Well, it's no surprise that I've drawn much inspiration from the greatest oil tycoon of all time, but I'm not the only one up here that has a celebrity counterpart, if you will.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Well, you know, with the hair and with the little curly smile, I'm thinking Honey Boo Boo with you.
Here comes Honey Boo Boo? Me? Yeah. You're really throwing me under the bus, aren't you? Lots of stuff to cover tonight. Let's start it off here with the MMA news flurry. After the UFC Hall of Fame has taken loads of criticism, one popular website and its president are laying a framework for a Mixed Martial Arts Hall of Fame. Kirik Janez from MixedMartialArts.com is leading the charge and is close to finishing a committee of journalists, fighters, and other figures to make these picks. Do you think this is something that's really going to catch on?
If anybody can do it, I think that Kirik can do it. But they're up against a very strong opposition there with the UFC. They are the most pronounced company, image, anything in the world when it comes to mixed martial arts. So it's going to be tough, but I would love to see it. You see a lot of guys that maybe pre-Zuffa that could come out there and get their shot where maybe Zuffa doesn't feel that they deserve that chance.
We'll see what happens. Australian Fighting Championships is officially back in the news. They have announced their date, venue, and main event for AFC 4. Now, the event will go down December 7th, the historic Melbourne Pavilion. And man, do we have an event that's going to shake the foundation of the continent. AFC heavyweight champion Soa Hulk Kaleli will take on the massive blue chip athlete, Mr. Bobby Lashley. Now, this is a slam dunk for a main event.
Well, they were looking for a challenge for Soa Paleli, and I think they found it in Bobby Lashley. This is a very high-profile guy, and I think if Soa can take him out, this is going to vault him to that next level for sure.
Oh, I think so, too. You got to check out the website. That's afcmma.com.au. Finally, we're going to stay overseas where Rough China put on yet another blockbuster event. Rough China 5 went down last Thursday at the People's Stadium in Hohhot, Inner Mongolia. 13 fights on the card. Here's some of the highlights. A great stand-up battle right here between Zhao Zilong and Li Zhizheng. These guys were really trading in this fight. Then you got the fight of the night, which is Jumahi and Zhen Hong. Another really exciting battle here for Rough China. Then 2 big KOs, man. The Ducati knockout of the night went to Junbieke Tershun. As you can see, another big KO here, and the knockout from Rodrigo Caporal. Usually has some great BJJ, but he lands the big right in the second round. Caporal is something else, Casey. You know, this guy, you think he's just going to come with the BJJ, but you know, he's really something to watch in Rough China.
He certainly is, and you're exactly right. You expect him to get on the ground and roll around all night long, but he gets out there and he slams and bangs and he does everything that he needs to do to get this victory. And then this is a guy that comes from the same camp as the Mendez brothers and Andre Galvao, so he definitely has it on the ground. But man, it's really good to see that well-rounded game of this guy.
No doubt about it. Head over to roughchina.com, get all the results, then get info on Rough China 6. Well, last week's Clip of the Week competition was tough to call. As 4 videos really got serious votes down the stretch. Now, there can only be one winner, and only one winner of that prize pack, and it's going to be Hard Rock MMA with our first ever submission to MMA Inside the Cage. Isaiah Ferguson, brother of UFC's Josh Ferguson, with the big finish. It's hardrockfight.com for more information.
You know I love those Ferguson boys.
You got to. These guys can bang. And then this week, you know what, Casey? The prize package is loaded. As always, what can they win?
Well, as always, you can have the Elevation Training Mask 2.0, the Shaker Cup from Gamma Labs, complete with pre-workout formula, and some apparel from Versailles, BAMP Fight Gear, and Crucifix.
Well, we're going to cover some big news from the brand new World Series of Fighting after the break, and later we're going to preview XFC 20 High Octane. But now, it's your first 4 finalists for a Clip of the Week.
Fighters, promoters, fans, get hooked up. Send us your best knockouts and submissions by going to MMAInsideTheCageTV.com and clicking Get On Air.
In the very dangerous sport of mixed martial arts, one company has your back. Combat Sports Insurance is the Southeast's newest entity, insuring events, promoters, and fighters as well. Owner Jeremy Augusta, an area leader in insurance for the past decade and current MMA fighter for Team Oxendine, is focused on bringing the best coverage to your event and your fighters. Combat Sports Insurance. Call today at 423-571-2519 or visit combatsportsinsurance.com.
MMA Inside the Cage, brought to you by Combat Sports Insurance.
Welcome back. News broke last week that a new promotion was on the American MMA scene. It's called the World Series of Fighting, and it already has a few good things attached to it. A good home at the Planet Hollywood in Las Vegas, some major financial backing, Ray Sefo on top of the heap there running the show, and a TV deal with the NBC Sports Network, formerly known as Versus. Now, we've seen a lot of companies rise and fall quickly in mixed martial arts, so here's our top 5 keys to success for the World Series of Fighting. Number 5, Casey, make it mainstream, cross-promotion, brand affiliation. Case.
Absolutely. You're talking about McDonald's, Bud Light, the names and brands that are respected out there. They're going to bring money, and they're going to bring more money with other brands if they can get that thing out there. Another thing is get your talent out there on television.
Absolutely.
Brand these characters and make the mainstream understand who they are.
This is the thing that I think Bellator has completely dropped the ball on. You know, they have a new brand, a really cool deal that they have, but they just do not do that mainstream crossover stuff. They got to do it. Number 4, grow your own. Get legit feeder promotions, smaller promotions, providing exclusive talent to the company.
There are tons and tons of AAA level MMA events across America and across the world right now. And what they need to do is they need to brand their guys like that. They need to take shows like the NAAFS and Access Television and some of the international shows like EFC Africa or AFC down in Australia. Take these shows and pull these guys up there, let their faces be seen for the first time there at the World Series of Fighting, and you're going to see some big things. It's something that is different and unique.
I think so too. Number 3, innovate. Bring something new to the table. Don't be UFC light. Pride did it, Bellator did it, and they lasted. They had a lot of lasting power. That's what the World Series of Fighting needs to do.
And you're exactly right. You don't want to be UFC light. You don't want to be a second rate, hey, we're doing this. We've got UFC vets, former UFC vets coming in. We're going to do this. If you're former UFC vets, then you're going to be second peer to the UFC forever. You have to do your own thing. You have to find a way to establish a new flair to this sport. And if the World Series of Fighting can do that, then they can have a lasting push to rival the UFC finally.
I think so too. Number 2, go for the jugular. Go after the top talent. Go after expiring contracts and the big money draws, not just the cast-offs of the UFC.
This is exactly right. You cannot take and headline your card with guys that the UFC's already thrown away and expect to be number one, considered number one. What you have to do is you have to take a name like a GSP or an Anderson Silva or even John Jones, who's actually disgruntled right now. You take these guys and you put them into your card and you place them with talent. You use them and you build your own guys, and eventually your guys will come and they will overtake those guys. Once that happens, it places your organization atop the heap.
It's almost the same thing that UFC did with Pride.
That's exactly right. Years ago, Pride was considered number one. UFC was considered second peer. What did the UFC do? They built the Ultimate Fighter. They took the Pride talent. They acquired Pride. They brought them over. They placed them together. A defining moment in that was when Shogun and Forrest Griffin faced each other. Forrest Griffin defeats Shogun. And all of a sudden now you're seeing the UFC considered on a higher level because now the UFC's homegrown talent has defeated a significant Pride veteran, a Pride star. And that's what the World Series of Fighting has to do in order to step up.
All right, well, then that leaves number 1, money talks. That's right, you pay out the big bucks, and the fighters will come to you.
Exactly right. Now, the UFC is doing it better than anybody else, but if someone were to come along and start paying that Mayweather money and that Mike Tyson in the 80s type money, $20, $30 million, you're going to see a huge shift in what's going on in this world. And really, UFC would have to come up to that bar. And that is where it's all at. If the World Series of Fighting could get that sort of backing, and that's what I've said all along, it's going to take someone that can pay better because the man who is paying the money, who's paying the most is going to run the corporation that rules the entire genre, and that's where it's at.
All right, well, there it is. There's your top 5 keys for success. We'll see what happens with the World Series of Fighting. Speaking of big promotions, UFC has a number of cards right in a row here in the coming weeks. Let's get some really quick picks in here. UFC 152, I think we both have John Jones over Vitor Belfort, but how about these undercard fights? Igor Pekrajic taking on Vinny Magalhães.
Pekrajic's a monster, but I'm going to pick Vinny in this one. I think he is really, really hungry. He's excited to be back in the UFC. Pekrajic, tough guy, but really, really close spot with Maldonado in that last outing. I just think Vinny's on it, and it's time to go.
I think with the ring rust and with the cage rust, I think Pekrajic might take the upset here. Next fight, Mighty Mouse taking on Joseph Benavidez for the flyweight crown. Who are you taking in this?
I'm picking Benavidez as long as he's not in jail at the time. You know what I'm saying?
I think I'll go ahead and take Benavidez as well in this one. I think he's going to take the title. Then we go, our final fight that we're going to pick, the main event of UFC Fuel 6 in England. 2 guys on a roll, 2 heavyweights, Stipe Miocic fighting Stefan Struve. Who do you got?
I'm picking Stipe in this one. He is the undefeated of the 2. Stefan Struve definitely a monster, but he has shown he can be beaten. Dropped 2 there in the UFC before, so I think Stipe is going to come in and he's going to do things.
Well, there we go. I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. The only one we're going to disagree is Pekrajic and Magalhães. We'll see what happens. As always, stop by UFC.com for more information on all their big cards. It's all about XFC 20 High Octane in the 3rd round, but before that, your next 4 finalists for Clip of the Week.
As he gasped Bojan, Kosednak in trouble now. There's the knockdown! Can Martinko pound and ground? That's it, it's all over.
Going to be a very long night if Olsen has that offensive attack from that far out with the takedowns.
This is over. It's over. That was gruesome. Olsen thinks he wants out. He wants out.
He doesn't know where he's at.
It's done. He had loved the victory.
38 seconds.
Fighters, promoters, fans, get hooked up. Send us your best knockouts and submissions by going to MMAInsideTheCageTV.com and clicking Get On Air.
I think for my son, he could have collapsed many times.
I'm looking to be a young champion. I feel like I'm ready for the top.
If he says he's going to be the middleweight champ, I believe him. You know, very directed with his goals, very good family guy, very serious.
My daughter's my biggest fan, and no one could argue with that.
You know, I'm betting on Chris, 100%. I just don't see anyone stopping him.
I'm confident. I know I can beat him, and I just want the shot now.
MMA Inside the Cage, brought to you by Combat Sports Insurance.
What's your 3rd and final round? Time to impress the judges. As always, on September 28th, XFC takes over the Knoxville Coliseum for its 20th show, High Octane. Very fitting name, Casey. You know, the Southern Tour has been really great for the company.
Really good. A couple of times there in Tennessee, and of course their first show in Charlotte. They really, really lit up the scene up down here in the Southeast, and I'm really excited for this one. This one's going to be the best one yet.
Let's take a look at a little piece of that interview you had with John Prisco in Charlotte.
If any promoter says he's in this to be number 2, I think he's crazy, and he
maybe he needs to look to do something else. I can't get out of bed in the morning if I'm not getting out of bed to be number one in what I do. I find it amazing that people find that amazing, that I wouldn't want to be number one. So you people who are the naysayers, you go ahead and you keep watching and see what happens with the XFC.
You know, John Prisco has a good reason to be confident because he has some great cards here. Some of the feature fights from XFC 20, 3 fights at the top. You have Sofia Bagardai making her debut against Sarah Malloy. Bagardai kind of has that combination of looks and talent, kind of like what they have with Felice Herrig. You know, they want to reproduce that once again. Well, Malloy's not going to be an easy fight. Then how about Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman taking on Chris Coggins? Both guys we know real well. What's going to be the key in the victory for either one of these guys?
Well, Coggins definitely has great submission skills. So does Scott Holtzman. I'm picking Scott in this fight simply because he's a little bit more athletic. He pushes it a little bit more, and his striking has really been point on. He has improved tremendously.
And you know he's going to be amped up there in his hometown. Main event, Eric Reynolds stepping up, taking a fight. He's already the 155 champion. He's already set to face Nick Newell with the title at stake. You think it's a good idea to take a fight against a tough guy like Borgomeo?
I think it's always a good idea to take a tough fight anytime you fight on the XFC. And that's the thing that Prisco has really expressed, that you're not going to get in there and get an easy fight. And this is the case right here. He's going to have to step up. Eric Reynolds is going to have to step up. He's going to have to get this job done so he can face Nick Newell in the future.
I think that's going to be a great fight if it does happen. Now, then you get a ton of guys from our area that are on this card. I like Adam Townsend, Nate Landwehr in the opener. Then you have Craig Johnson, which is going to be a real big one. Wolf Clan Combat Sports making his pro debut in the XFC. A couple guys you're very familiar with right on this card.
Well, I'll be there with my guy Steve Thomas, of course, on the undercard, and then Ian Boxhorn making his long-awaited return. This is a guy that I know extremely well, and I think he's going to be back with a vengeance. Now, a fight that I really am looking forward to on the main card is going to be Shaba Bonus and Cornelius Godfrey. People may not know Godfrey if you've not been on this scene, but this guy, of course, works with Spencer Fisher. He's a very, very tough individual. I saw his last fight there at Spartan. He finished with a beautiful triangle choke victory. And then, of course, Shaba Bonus. This guy is on a roll right now. He's had his ups and downs, but right now he's on a big streak, and I think this fight is going to be one to keep an eye out for.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. One thing we do know is you don't want to miss this show, Friday, September 28th. Either get your tickets at BFANtickets.com if you want to be in the arena, or catch it, of course, on Access TV Live. Now, your main event comes from the XFC. The exciting co-main eventer, Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman, taking on Matt Metz from XFC 18. It's your MMA Inside the Cage main event of the week.
All part of XFC 18 here in Nashville, Tennessee. The good money on this one is on Scott Holtzman. Actually spent some time in Thailand before his previous fight. Went back to his groundwork in preparation for this one. Both men possess good right hands, so look out for them in a stand-up. Inside thigh kick early on from Hot Sauce.
Well, you know Holtzman has a right hand because he played hockey. Grab the jersey with the left and throw the right.
Clinch up for the first time. High knee to the sternum there from Holtzman, forces him back against the cage.
You know, I was going to say Holtzman looks seriously jacked right now, and you can see he's overpowered. He's really overpowering him right now.
Gets the takedown. Short knee from Holtzman off the right. Clinched up for a long time here. About a minute or so. And the upper hand in the clinch has gone the way of Scott Holtzman. Holtzman, who told us yesterday he wants to keep it on its feet as long as he can, feel out Matt Metz. And if it goes to ground, look for him to work some brutal ground and pound. He's been renowned for his chokes in his career, but he says in this fight he wants to hurt Metz should they go to the ground, and now he has the opportunity.
It's a nice transition from that overhand right to that takedown. See Metz working his feet in there. He's doing a good job controlling the feet, or controlling the legs and hips of Holtzman.
Nicely measured downward elbow, top of the chin, and again, beautiful elbows off the left here from Holtzman.
Going for that leg.
Metz sees the opportunity for a submission, and Holtzman's out of there. Oh, solid, and he's cut him over the left eye. There's the vicious GNP I spoke about. Holtzman doing damage here in the first round, 90 seconds remaining.
You can see Metz working the legs again, keeping Holtzman off balance a little bit.
Holtzman wants to drag him away from the fence. Boom, to the midsection with the right hand, puts him on his back once more as Metz trying to return to his feet. Good work here from Hot Sauce.
Just simply overpowering Metz.
Oh, and again, smack bang on the kisser. Metz doing a quick count of his teeth, as many people in Nashville do every morning when they wake up. Nice right hand again there. And once more from Holtzman. Thunders in the left. Oh, the ground and pound. Good night, Irene!
Fighters, promoters, fans, get hooked up. Send us your best knockouts and submissions by going to MMAInsideTheCageTV.com and clicking Get On Air.
I think for my son, he could have collapsed many times.
I'm looking to be a young champion. I feel like I'm ready for the top.
If he says he's going to be the middleweight champ, I believe him. You know, very directed with his goals, very good family guy, very serious.
My daughter's my biggest fan, and no one could argue with that.
You know, I'm betting on Chris, 100%. I just don't see anyone stopping him.
I'm confident. I know I can beat him, and I just want the shot now.
MMA Inside the Cage, brought to you by Combat Sports Insurance.
Well, it's just about time for a stoppage on this episode, but before we do, here's your last 4 finalists for Clip of the Week.
所以现在呢，我们看到这个罗德卡波尔呢，现在他是今天的打法好像意图不像以往那么明确。
因为我俩被 KO 了，TKO。
That makes 12. Let's run through the dozen very quickly so you can make your vote.
That's it, it's all over.
This is over.
这么明确。
因为我俩被 KO 了，TKO。
Now go to MMAInsideTheCageTV.com, get your votes in, and decide who takes home the Training Mass 2.0 and all the great swag.
Well, get your clips in, guys. It's easy. The more the merrier. Head right over to the website and submit. It's as easy as uploading a video to YouTube. Find us and like us on Facebook. Follow us at MMAITC on Twitter. And subscribe to our YouTube page for exclusive interviews. I'm Cyrus Speech.
I'm Casey Oxendine.
And we'll see you next week.
Inside the Cage.